I still? Oh my god. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jalen, and today I just have a reading check-in sort of video. So quickly, before I get into the things I want to talk about today, I will share what I am drinking. So I have a strawberry lemonade slush light from Wiley Roots Brewing Company. I don't know where they're based. Greeley, Colorado. So this is a 3.8% ABV sour ale. That's light. So yeah, I took a little sip before I started because it was going to spill, but it is very good. It's delicious actually. It does feel quite light. It doesn't even feel like beer. I feel like I'm drinking like a juice or something. So love that. Check out Wiley Roots if you have it in your area. But okay, so let's get into the video today. So I want to do a video because I'm actually going to Amsterdam this weekend, and I'm going to be there all next week. And so, of course, I'm going to vlog for you all, but I wanted to get one more video up before I leave because I don't know how long the editing will take. And then I think I'm going to be drained when I get back from Amsterdam. And so I don't want to like pressure myself into filming right away. You know the vibes. So I know I'm kind of late to this, but I figured I would do a reading stats, reading check-in, like what am I currently reading? And then also an end of year TBR of 10 books that are really speaking to me, and I really think I'm going to read all of these by the end of the year. I could be totally wrong, as you know me. I am unreliable as hell when it comes to a TBR, but yeah, I thought that'd be fun. So I think first off, I'll go over my stats, and so I'll pull up my story graph here, and let's see what I've read. Let's go through it. This would have been way more helpful to do around like June, July. Of course, it's the end of August and I'm doing this, but you know, it is what it is. Alrighty, so going into 2021, I set a reading goal for myself of 75 books. I had read 94 books last year and I was like, you know what? Let's see what happens. I was hoping that we would kind of come out of COVID. I mean, it's not really the case. And so I thought my social life might improve a little bit, so I might read less, but I'm killing it. I'm at 76 books so far this year. So I think I'm going to hit 100 this year. I'm pretty sure, unless something changes. But yeah, so I read 76 books out of 75 for my reading goal. I've read 18,490 pages, which that sounds like a lot. I read a lot of short books, but that seems like a wild number. So that's cool. And going down to what I read, so let's see how a story graph breaks it down by moods. I don't know how I feel about Storygraph's mood breakdown. If you use Storygraph, like let me know what you think about it, but it seems a little bit, I feel like they need to work on tailoring it for different types of books, mainly fiction versus nonfiction. It always asks like the same questions of whether this book is like character driven or plot driven, but if it's nonfiction, but it's like not applicable. So yeah, so let's see what moods I have. So number 1, 54 of my books have been reflective. You know, the vibes here at the bar in the bookcase. Next is emotional, 27 books. Dark, 24 books. Challenging, 20 books. Mysterious, 10 books. So that's like the majority of my pie. Then I have informative, tense, funny. So basically, the gist of what I read is reflective, emotional, dark, and challenging, and mysterious. That is what I like to read. I will say that seems pretty accurate, even though I just criticized the system. Let's see, I'm going to click into reflective and see what it deems as reflective. Summer Water, The Employees, Conditional Citizens, Milk Fed, Disability Visibility, Crossroads, Milk Blood Heat. That makes sense for a lot of these. I want to see what I put for dark. That might be good. Things have gotten worse since we last spoke. Yes. Summer Water, yes. Dead Girls, yes. Intimacies, yes. You Will Never Be Forgotten, yes. Magma, yes. Okay. Interesting. Okay, looking at pace, I have 34 books. The majority are medium paced. Then I have slow paced, 31 books. And then I have fast paced, 10 books. Yeah, I like a medium paced book. I think that's true. I also like slow paced. So it's reflective in this pie chart. For page number, 56 of the books I've read have been under 300 pages. And 18 of them have been between 300 and 499 pages. And then I've read 2 that are over 500. So let me look at what's over 500. Crossroads and then Uzumaki. That doesn't really count because it's manga and it's just a lot of pictures. So I will say like the one long book that I've read this year is Crossroads, and that shit slaps. Get your pre-orders in. It's so good. And then I have one book in my TBR that's even bigger than this one. We'll see if it happens, but I think it will because I'm very excited for it. Then a fiction, nonfiction breakdown. I have 55 fiction, 21 nonfiction. That's interesting. I feel like that's more nonfiction than I would think. I feel like I mostly read fiction, but yeah, that's cool. It's weird. So lately I've been getting in this kind of like a slumpy vibe, and I think right now I'm reading this book called Cultish by Amanda Montell, and I'm like adoring it more than anything I'm reading right now. And so I think I'm in the mood for stuff that's kind of more fact driven, and I don't know, I'm just not really in the headspace for fiction right now. I find I don't really know why that is. I think I just have a lot going on like in my life right now in a way. So I think more like simplistic narratives in terms of just like reading more article style things or like fitting my vibe right now, or just more informational stuff. It's just working with me, interestingly. And then breaking down the genres. Number 1 is 37 literary, then 14 contemporary. Only 12 short story collections. That's interesting. I wonder if that's right. That's probably right. Then I have a couple memoirs, a 10 memoir. LGBTQIA plus is 8, poetry 7. That's wild. Let me see if that's right. I'm reading a lot more poetry this year. It is true. Wow. Okay. And then my average rating is a 3.94. So I give tons of 4-star reviews for books that aren't perfect, but I really enjoy. A couple 3 stars, a few 2 stars. Let's see what I gave 2 stars. That's always interesting. The Decagon House Murders, Early Morning Riser, Department of Speculation, The Final Girl Support Group, and The War of the Poor. Yeah, I will say those are my least favorite books that I read this year. That seems accurate. Definitely. Quickly, I haven't covered this in a wrap-up yet, but I recently finished The Final Girl Support Group, which I am kind of attributing to my reading slump as of late. I was kind of like rushing through it. By the end, I was like, all right, let's get this shit over with, because this is so just dumb and like, no. I'm so disappointed by that book, you guys. Just a real side note. I was so excited for Grady Hendrix to do a slasher, and he really let me down. It was such a slog, even though it was fast-paced, and it did nothing with the slasher format that was interesting to me, and it was just so, like, corny, and the writing felt so lifeless. Like, usually when you read a Grady Hendrix, you feel some sense of, like, comedy, you just feel his heart in it, and this just felt like the most dialed in, like, just terrible reading experience for me. Not to go in on that book right now, but I just didn't like it much at all, even though I do love a slasher moment. But anyways, that's probably the biggest disappointment of the year. That's why I'm talking about it. I was very, very disappointed by the book. So yeah, those are my stats. I think I'm going to hit 100. I'm going to like modify my goal for myself to hit 100 books by the end of the year. I think I'll probably go over that. Maybe not my goal by any means, but I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about like whether I actually want to base my reading goals on numbers, because it's really so arbitrary. Like, it depends on the size of the book. Like, why does hitting a certain number of books, like, it's just not, I don't like that metric anymore. And I want to free myself from it because I want to read bigger books, because I really loved my time reading it. And even though I could have read more smaller books, I'm really glad I read the big book, you know? Thoughts that I'm having in my brain. That's been my reading this year. I think it's been a really good reading year so far. I just DNF'd a book yesterday. It's called How to Wrestle a Girl. It's a story collection coming out soon from FSG. And you know me, FSG is like my favorite publisher. I was so excited for this book, but I don't know if it's my headspace, but I got almost halfway through this collection and I just was not vibing. I feel like I've DNF'd more and I haven't really been marking it. So poor me. Maybe I haven't. Oh, I DNF'd A Little Life. I don't think I've marked that down. So A Little Life and How to Wrestle a Girl. Yeah, I just was not vibing with that collection. I realized I hate DNFing books, and I need to relinquish myself from that mindset, because I should have DNF'd the Grady Hendrix. I wasn't sure about DNFing this one, but I did it because I'm like, you know what? There's more things I want to read. I'm getting into a slump, sort of. I don't want to put myself into a deeper slump, so I'm just like letting go of the constraints that come with reading and reviewing, especially galleys. Like, I feel really bad about DNFing those because the publisher sent them to me, so I like want to read it and review it. I'll have more thoughts on this collection at the end, but so I've had 2 true DNFs, I believe. So yeah, and to kind of go through my slump discussion really quick, I've been feeling a little bit like all over the place with like what I want to read, what I should be reading, in terms of like galleys or like reading backlist. I have so much that I want to read. This is every reader's problem, is like I want to read everything and I don't know what to read, and I'm feeling like I have FOMO about the books that I'm not reading and it's piling up, but I also want to buy more books. Like, I'm feeling a little bit manic right now with my reading and feeling like pressure to keep reading and review more books. And I also want to be a better reviewer. I've had a lot of content on my channel recently about like my reflections on being a book reviewer on BookTube, and figuring out like what I want to do with my platforms and like what content I want to push out. Do I want to do more vlogs? Do I not? Like, I'm being an overthinker. Classic me. But I should probably just relax, and like with my DNFing, like I should just relax. If I want to DNF a book, DNF the book. You know what I mean? I've been wanting to reorganize my shelves. I've been procrastinating on it. I don't know. I'm just feeling a little bit like I need to relax, Jalen. Relax. So I think I'm getting out of my slump. I think I'm feeling okay. I've been like fighting that shit like with all my might. I'm like, I'm not going to get into a slump. I haven't really had one ever, really, at least since I've started like booktubing and book reviewing on Instagram and stuff. But I felt it approaching. I just felt like with myself not being able to focus really while I was reading because I was just like thinking too much. I don't know. So I think I'm fighting it. I think I'm good. I'll check in later, but that's something that's going on. But I'm really loving Cultish, so that is a T. Okay, so then now I will go into 10 books that I really, really, really want to read this year by the end of the year. 10 books that I keep eyeing. Like when I want to pick up a new book, I'm like, ooh, should I pick you? But then I like don't. But then I'm like, next time I'll pick you. And I have a couple like upcoming releases that I don't have yet that I'm dying to read. We'll read it as soon as I get my hands on it. So let's go. I'll start with the books that I have physically. So the first one is Fight Night by Miriam Toews. I believe is how you say her name. I actually have not read her, but the publisher sent me this copy, and it sounds really, really, really good. So it's about 3 generations of women. I believe it's a grandma, a mother, and a daughter. So it's a tale alternating between the exuberant, precocious voice of young Swiv and her irrepressible, tenacious grandma. Fight Night is a love letter to mothers and grandmothers and to all the women who are still fighting, painfully, ferociously, for a way to live on their own terms. So I do love a book about motherhood and family dramas and such. I think this is going to be really good. And I've heard only good things about this author from people that I really trust. And so I think this is going to be a good entry point. You know me, I love reading a galley. So I think I'll start with this one for her. I also have Women Talking, which I've seen a lot of good stuff about. So yeah, I'm very excited for this. It comes out, I don't know, it comes out in October based on the proof. Okay, next up I have On Freedom by Maggie Nelson. This one was also sent to me by the publisher. It's called On Freedom, 4 Songs of Care and Constraint. So I really, really love Maggie Nelson. I read Jane and Bluets this year, and I loved both of them so much. And so I'm very excited for this. First of all, I'm obsessed with this cover. For a nonfiction like essay collection, this is gorge. It's kind of like a cream or a subtle off-white with the black edge. And the font is bomb. Like, I'm really digging this. So I don't really know exactly what this is about. Let me see. So from what I know, this is an essay collection about freedom, 4 different areas. So art, sex, drugs, and climate. So, you know, I mean, it's Maggie Nelson. It's gonna slap. It comes out, I think, is in September. I think I have a little pamphlet here. It comes out September 7th. I know many books are coming out September 7th, so this is another one to add to the list. But I'm excited for this. I know Rebecca just started this book, I think, today. So she will have thoughts before me, but excited for it. Next, I have Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder. A lot of proofs in this pile, I just realized. The publisher sent me this as well. This seems like a pure, straight-up, depressed woman moving book. I've seen a lot of reviewers have read this recently. So basically, I know it's about a mother who is lonely at home while her husband's working, I believe, and she believes that she's becoming a dog. So if you know me, you know that's like right up my alley. A woman who's lonely, who's spiraling, motherhood. Love this cover as well. So yeah, this will be good. I think it's going to be like a really good book for me when I'm like, I want a Jalen book. Like, just give me the Jalen book. I almost picked this up to get out of my slump, but a couple other things were calling to me before this one. So if you've read this one, let me know. I've seen a lot of people reading this lately. So, and it's also going to be a movie starring Amy Adams, which is awesome. So hopefully Amy Adams gets her Oscar finally. A book I haven't really seen anyone talk about besides CJ is Painting Time by Melis de Kerangal. So this book came onto both mine and CJ's radar because Lauren Euler recommended it on, I think, Twitter and Instagram. She said it was an amazing novel, and I was like, okay, let me pick it up. You know, I love some Lauren Euler recommendations. So this one follows a young artist in Brussels who I believe is in college, and she is learning her craft and is like very dedicated to it. So it's basically a coming of age novel about art and identity, I think in your early 20s. So sounds hot. You know, it's the vibe. CJ loved it. Lauren Euler loved it. I foresee myself loving it. Sounds good. Next up, I have... My copy is kind of bent. I'm sad. I have Transit by Rachel Cusk. I read Outline by her this year. I read Second Place by her this year. Cusk is awesome. I love her stuff. And I have the entire trilogy for the Outline trilogy. And I want to read another one by the end of the year so I can keep the momentum going. Yeah, I don't know what this is about. I'm sure it's more about nothing, really. Just a lot of ideas. And I'm excited for that. You know, I love some no plot, good writing. Next up, I have a book I'm extremely excited for. it is this behemoth of a novel, the new Karl Ove Knausgaard. Is that how you say his name? Karl Ove Knausgaard? Is that right? But this is a standalone new novel from Karl. I would call him Karl. And basically it's about a star that appears in the sky that starts to alter the world in some way. And I saw some early reviews of this one that said it's kind of like a horror novel. It's huge. It follows a bunch of characters that are being impacted by this phenomenon that's playing with them, I think, somehow. I don't really know how. So yeah, it sounds like a really cool, somewhat sci-fi book that is going to be quite literary, I think. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I've never read him, actually. And I'm actually shocked that I was able to get a copy of this. I got it through TikTok, which is, like, I never in a million years that I would say I got the new Knausgaard through TikTok. Like, what even is that sentence? Yeah, I'm really excited to work with Penguin Press because Penguin Press is publishing the new Otessa Moshfegh next summer, and I will sell my soul for an arc of it. I will do anything they would like me to do for the arc. Yeah, so for any like sci-fi horror literary lads, this is going to be good, I think. I will keep you posted. But it's bigger than the Franzen, which took me a while. So yeah, I might bring this on my trip with me, maybe. But it's so big that I probably won't. I wish I had the NetGalley version, to be honest. I don't know. Okay, anyway, so yeah, that's that one. Oh, okay, so I have Deborah Levy. So she has a new book coming out called Real Estate, the last in her trilogy memoir. And so I've never read any of Levy's work. And so I really want to read at least Things I Don't Want to Know. Is that what it's called? I don't know. The cover's here. So yeah, I really want to read that one and the entire trilogy, but I'll probably only get to like one. Unless the trilogy's bomb. I know they're pretty short. So yeah, I want to read some Levy. All of the hotties like love Levy, so I'm sure I'm going to love her as well. Plus I'm like on this little criticism bent, and I think she dabbles in that, so that'll be good. Next, I have Harlem Shuffle, the new Colson Whitehead. I love Colson Whitehead. Well, I've only read one book by him, but it was The Nickel Boys, and I loved it. But this one sounds incredible. I don't really know what it's about too much. I didn't know it's like a heist novel, and it comes out, I think, in September or October. I'm blanking, but I will be buying that. I was rejected for a galley on NetGalley, so I must buy it. But it is what it is. Next, I have I Love You, But I've Chosen Darkness by Claire Bay Watkins. First of all, the title in this cover, out from Riverhead Books. I'm all about it. All I really remember from the synopsis is it's about motherhood and it's dark. So, running theme here. I'm very excited for that. And I know Rebecca likes this author and was also excited about it, I believe. So now I am excited about it too. I need that cover on my shelves. That cover is amazing. Okay, the last one I have from NetGalley, it's coming out, I think, in October 12th. It is The Pessimist by Bethany Ball. So I don't know too much about this one. I haven't seen too many like reviews for it, but I did see the synopsis. What I know, it's basically about a biting and darkly funny new novel that follows a set of privileged, jaded Connecticut suburbanites whose cozy, seemingly picture-perfect lives begin to unravel amid shocking turns of fate and revelations of long-held secrets. So I think this is about shitty people unraveling, and I'm all about it. I love this cover. Like, this cover is amazing, in my opinion, I think. Is it? Yeah. It is. I really like it. So I have the NetGalley version of it, and so I want to read that for sure. It sounds very up my alley when I just want some shitty characters. You know me, I love a shitty character. It's my favorite. Especially when they're unraveling, you know? It's the vibe. So those are the 10 books that I'm dying to get to. I'm constantly almost picking them up, but I haven't yet. But I think I'm going to get to all of these. I'm actually like, quite confident about it. Watch me read like none of these. No, I really think I will. So yeah, that's kind of my reading check-in. That's where I'm at right now in my year of reading. I'm fighting the slump to the death. It's not even really a slump. It hasn't even become a slump yet, so I'm not going to put that out there. I'm fighting off the gentle aura and vibes that are invading this room, and I'm banishing them. Do you know what I mean? I'm banishing it. It cannot happen to me. So that's about it. If you really want me to read any of these books, let me know so I can prioritize them. I do like an accountability moment. I like having a book that I'm like committed to reading. And so like even when I'm slumping, I can like, that's a one book. I know like I don't set TBRs, but I like a book club that I'm committed to. I will read that shit no matter what. So I might do something like that. So I know that you all are like, read this book and then I can read the book, you know? So maybe I'll start doing that. Maybe I'll do it with this 10. If there's a book out of this 10 that you really want me to read, let me know and I will prioritize it. Okay, that about does it. Let me know how your reading year is going. How many books have you read? What's your favorite so far? Let me know. My next video will probably be a wrap up or my Amsterdam reading vlog. I'm going to vlog the shit out of Amsterdam. And if you follow the hotties, you might know that a certain someone just moved to Amsterdam and a collab is incoming. I think I'm going to cry. Okay, I'm just going to reveal it. Hannah just moved to Amsterdam and we're about to vibe and cry. I'm going to cry. I already know it. I can't believe I'm going to meet Hannah before CJ. Are you fucking, like, what? That is so wild to me. But it's going to be fun. And so, yeah, that reading vlog is going to be dope. I'm very excited about it. So I will try to edit that as soon as I can. But we'll see. All right. So until next time, cheers.